Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Epic Mind Visions. Today, we're going to talk about the moment that you realize that your life is half over. Some of us, that might come a little bit sooner than others, depending on our expectation of life. And a lot of times, our expectations are what ultimately comes to pass and comes into being. Because where our intention goes, our energy flows. And if our expectation is to live to 100, then we never have any doubt that that's going to happen. Then a certain number of people in that category will reach 100. And if we think, well, my father passed away at 70, so I'll probably won't live past 70, then our midlife is going to be at 35. If we've anchored that into our consciousness. So for me, it wasn't a specific moment necessarily, but it was a process of really decoupling from who I thought I was and what I thought I was going to be in my life, and re envisioning and rebuilding my life into more of what I wanted it to be. And I guess it was because I didn't really ever know and get real clarity on what I wanted personally before I designed my life, that my life ended up being designed based on expectations and based on trauma patterns, trauma bonding, shame patterns, and different things that were not in my level of awareness at the time. And we still have our blind spots. I still have my blind spots. And I know that there are still those patterns playing out. But ultimately, after my marriage and my career and my wealth and everything was basically taken from me in a very brief period of time, it reignited this passion and real energetic vigor for life in a way that I didn't expect. And I think that we perform our best a lot of times when the chips are down, when we're back to the wall. My back was to the wall, and I had the opportunity to step up to the plate and not to play the victim. And I think that that is a journey that, as a man, particularly, we need to have the opportunity to take that journey in life so that we can prove to ourselves our worth, our value, our ability, our resilience, and to build that. So through that time period is when I really realized, as I redesigned my life into more of what I want it to be, pushing aside the things that were programmed into me that I thought that I was supposed to be doing or believing, the limitations, self-imposed mostly and otherwise, that I felt uh, were my reality, and that controlled my ability to show up and to design the life that I wanted. And as I pushed all of those things away, it became a lot more clear what was really important. It wasn't the money, it wasn't the stability, it wasn't the family structure. It was more of having a passion for life, faith in your own belief, whatever you believe in. We say sometimes God, universe, source, Gus, whatever that is for you, having faith and recognizing in that process that, yeah, I don't have 50 more years probably. I'll be lucky to get 50 more years, at the time. I'm 57 now. At the time, I was my late 40s and early 50s. And it's like knowing that, in my head, it wasn't something that was visceral for me. Like I said it necessarily out loud a lot or anything, but I knew that, okay, well, as I rebuild here, like this is maybe the last big shot I have, you know. Let's see what happens over the next 10, 15, 20 years. And then if I get another chance of reset in this way, then I can reset again for my elder years if I get the privilege of staying on earth that long. But for right now, at that time, it was that sense that, yeah, you're on the downhill You don't have as many years left. So what did that do? For me personally, it ignited a passion to accomplish as much as I could in a shorter period of time. I felt behind. I felt like I'm not where I should be. And that's a process to go through. It's a process that I've been going through to recognize, no, I'm exactly where I need to be. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, to face the challenges that ultimately I came here to Earth to overcome. Because if I never get put in a position to be challenged by those things and to find the answers and solutions and resilience within myself to overcome them, then how am I ever going to accomplish that? How am I ever going to get through that? And how am I ever going to reach the highs of overcoming that challenge in life, and to really internalize and integrate the lessons that I learned? So that's the moment, that multi-year period of realizing, and I'm still in it to some degree. One of my mentors, when I turned 56, I was at an event, and we were asked to go up to a group, sit down with them, state our name and our age, and then something about ourselves. And that was the first time after my birthday, after turning 56, that I would be presenting myself as 56. So I said, Chris, what he was 59 at the time. I'm like, how do you own it? Like, how do you own your age? Like, I don't feel 56, you know? And saying it out loud was a visceral kind of a feeling in my nervous system. And he said, you just own it. Be the example of what's possible. You are amazing. You have, you're healthy, you're well adjusted, functional, and you have your life and your lifestyle that you can be proud of. So it's not about age, it's about owning where you're at and owning what you're doing. So if you feel that tension or that kind of resistance to, wow, I'm 50 now, or I'm 55 now, or I'm 60 now, and you look at the results of your life and you're not where you wanted to be, that's that moment where you recognize, I don't have all the time in the world anymore. We never did. It's an illusion that we had, and as much time as we wanted, needed to create the things that we wanted to create. It's just that we felt like there was so much time that we didn't manage our resources, we didn't listen to our intuition, and we didn't get clarity on what we really, really wanted for ourselves, because we felt this luxury of time. When you look back at other societies from the past, and maybe the average lifespan, sure, people live to be 80, but the average lifespan is 35 or whatever, because you know you cut yourself on a thorn in the woods and you get infected and you die, or whatever the case is. There's tigers and all these things, right? So the expectation of life was much lower, the length of life was much lower. So you stepped up to the plate and you lived a lot earlier, and you got clarity on what you wanted your life to be, and you executed. And I think that in America and Europe and the Western world, we have such luxury with that. Oh, well, the health system's going to take care of me, and the chances of me living to be at least 70, 75, 80 are pretty high. So when we do get to that halfway mark, whatever it is that's that mile marker for you, if it's a traumatic event or it's just a contemplation, you're looking in the mirror and you're seeing yourself, maybe not the version that you want to see or that you thought you would see at the age you're at, and starting to recognize and realize that you don't have infinite time. You don't have another 50 years. What are you going to do? You know? And for me, it's about doing a lot of work on myself, internal work, uh, confronting traumas, releasing traumas, staying as healthy as I can, uh, prioritizing connection and love and gratitude, moving through fear, scarcity, and anything that is wasting my time while caring for myself mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, setting boundaries, where I spend my energy, who I spend my time with, these things. So, what was the moment that you realized your life was half over, and how have you approached it? Drop that in the comments. I'm going to be doing more of these more authentic style videos of just exploring all of the things that I've experienced over the past 10 years in my own midlife crisis, midlife reset, slash spiritual awakening, the different modalities that I've explored and experienced. So subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care. Peace.